your school. Tell me how you think that your school and your school experiences are going to help you in this position here. My school was fun. It's on the beach. Interviews. Not everybody likes them, but everybody has to do them. I know every single one of us here has all had an interview, because if we didn't, we would not be employed, we wouldn't be here today. So, that being said, everyone knows that it's nerve-wracking. You know, pulling up to the building, waiting those 15 minutes until your hiring manager comes to pick you up, and then that awkward conversation that you have with the interviewer about the weather outside or the traffic, and it feels like minutes until your actual interview actually starts. But I'm here today to tell you that there are several things that you can do to have a successful interview. Having just graduated from college and being an active member of the Accounting Association, I cannot count how many interviews I've had, whether they've been professional or just fun interviews for summer jobs that I've done in between classes. I've had my fair share. But I think from all my experience interviewing, I picked up 3 main successful tips that I could share with you guys that will lead you to getting the job of your dreams. So, do you guys have your notepads out? Let's go back to the scenario at the beginning of my speech. The interviewee seemed to be majorly lacking confidence, key number 1 to success. Confidence speaks volumes. Research actually shows that the interviewer has already made his decision about you within 4 minutes of the interview. So that basically gives him enough time to hear how you speak, see how you handle yourself in the interview, and how quickly and promptly and accurately you answer the questions that he asks you within the first 2 minutes. This doesn't give you a lot of time. So practice is obviously key in preparing for the interview. Think of questions, think of answers that you're going to answer the interviewee's questions. All these things will help you succeed in confidence and be able to answer the questions perfectly, so that way the interviewer is impressed with you within the first 4 minutes. Key number 2, research. So this is like homework, except homework for, you know, your potential job. It should be much easier than the statistics homework that you have on Friday night in school, where you'd much rather be, you know, out at happy hour drinking Cosmos, the good old days. Anyway, in all seriousness though, doing the research for a company really does help you gain the respect, and it's an extra note that the interviewee will notice about your responses. So for instance, when I was interviewed here at PennyMac, my interviewer actually asked me, Veronica, so as a quality assurance analyst, what would you do if someone were to hand you a policy and procedure? So I had to know what a policy procedure was. I had to know exactly what a quality assurance analyst does, and possibly somehow tie that into a department at PennyMac if I would have really done my research, which luckily I did. So when I gave him my answer, I knew that as a quality assurance analyst, I'd have to analyze documents, and documents I was assuming were the policies and procedures. And then in addition, I was able to remember that one of the departments here at PennyMac is property resolution, which deals with short sales and deed in lieu. So my answer was, as a quality assurance analyst, I would take the policies and procedures and speak to the property resolution department regarding issues regarding their documents. Needless to say, I got the job. I don't necessarily know that that specific answer was what got me the job, but it definitely helped. He was very impressed, and I could tell with my answer, he was nodding his head in approval. So always do your homework, people. Last but not least, professionalism. I cannot stress enough how important professionalism is. It stems from saying hello to the receptionist and being nice, all the way to chewing gum, to how you dress. Mainly, my example is going to deal with how you dress. So we all know during presentations at school, or for self-improvement speeches, they always say dress for success. And I'll be honest, I zoned out a few times. I mean, it's one of those things where I figured, okay, you sort of just know to dress for success. Like, you wouldn't walk in wearing a clubbing dress to an interview. But I don't mean to be judgmental, or, you know, I guess I thought everybody knew, but for one of my interviews, I was working as a receptionist at Lexus of Santa Barbara during college, and Lexus is a luxury automotive company, you know, so I figured I'd err on the side of dressing conservatively rather than more casually. So my normal interview look would be a pencil skirt with a black blazer, a very conservative top, put my hair back in a bun, and maybe add some rhinestone earrings, just for like a touch of class and sophistication and girliness, because you don't want to lose that girly feeling. And I feel ready to go. I'm confident in myself. When I was sitting waiting for my interviewer, I noticed that there was a woman who walked in, and she was wearing a very high skirt, low cut top, cheetah print heels, a pink sweater, and a cheetah purse to match her heels. And I was trying to do everything I could not to have my jaw drop to the floor. Yeah. But at the same time, I was pretty shocked. So she did not get the position, unfortunately. But all of these factors played a role, I'm sure, in the interviewer's decision on whether or not she could get the job. And I think that being professional and presenting yourself in a conservative light will always win the interviewer over, as opposed to dressing casually. First impression is everything. Just remember that. So, what can we take away from these pointers, besides not wearing cheetah print heels and wearing a pink purse? There's always room for improvement with interviews. I believe mastering these key topics will not only help you prepare for a successful interview, but also be a better you and be a better employee. Eventually, when you get to your next interview, rather than saying, "What now?" you'll be telling yourself, "I got this."